Welcome to the Hindu Center of Atlanta's weekly spiritual learning program. Today we are joined with Acharya Brahmadevji. We are working on series of practical application of yoga in daily life. Acharya Brahmadevji has an inclusive educational background of science, banking, University of Mauritius, management, and the Darshanacharya Vedic philosophy, Darshan Yoga Mahavidyalaya, Gujarat, and a diverse career in financial services, industry, and at Arya Sabha Mauritius. He has been a key resource person for Arya Sabha Mauritius on the universal Vedic values, yoga and meditation, and on interfaith, intercultural dialogue at various national and international forums. The Mauritius Council of Religions, Arya Pratinidhi Sabha America, Greater Atlanta Vedic Temple, and Hindu Center of Atlanta, Yoga and Meditation Center. He is author of numerous insightful articles on Vedic philosophy and contemporary issues in English and French. Over to Acharya ji.
Namaste, everybody. Welcome. Let's sit down and try to be focused, like on the path of yoga. धारणा बनाने की कोशिश करें. Be focused. Sit down straight. Keep the body relaxed. Close the eyes gently. Deep inhale and exhale, and feeling the breath going in and out of the nostrils. That's a good starting point for dharana. Start to focus on ourselves rather than outside, because yoga is more a work-in rather than a workout. While exhaling, we'll do jap on Om on the basis of yoga. Maharishi Patanjali says, Tasya Vachaka Pranava. Use the Pranav Dhani, the sound of Om, the name of Ishvara God. We'll do mantra jap with Gayatri mantra. We'll be vocal, gradually slowing down and also reducing our voice, and then go into silent chanting. So Gayatri mantra jap, always feeling the sound waves of pronunciation and the vibrations coming back to us. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. Silent chanting. Join the palms together, slightly broaden. Feel the energy build up and cover the eyes gently, slowly, gradually opening the eyes below the palms and feeling the transfer of energy, energizing our eyes and facial muscles. So, proceeding with the session on practical applications of yoga in daily life. We had an overview of yoga with the definition from Maharishi Patanjali, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, silencing of the mental and emotional activities, because Chit is mainly from Man. Man includes Buddhi, the center of mental activities, and the heart with the Hridayakash, the center of emotions. Silencing that will be able to be better focused on a particular subject, whatever be the subject we are attending to. Like I always say, be it sports, be it studies, be it work, or be it even experiencing cooking in the kitchen, when we are better focused, we are more positive with sattvic energy, and sattvic energy in whatever we do will deliver better results in life. And we had gone to the sadhan part and looking at the means. Sadhan means the means to achieve a target. Like sadhan, somebody is working in the office, he needs the office, the chair and the computers. These are the accessories for him to be able to work. So in yoga also the sadhan mainly is yama and niyama, the basis of it. So working on yama, the social discipline, which brings us the harmony at the social level. So it says yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. Yama as the social discipline, niyama as personal discipline, asana, body posture, pranayam, breath control, dharana, pratyahara, introversion of senses, that is working in dharana, consciousness, concentration, cultivating inner awareness, dhyan is meditation, and samadhi is coming in with the self and the Supreme Being, Ishvara. On yama it says ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha as the five yama. Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, yama. That's the sutra. The five components of yama are ahimsa, non-violence, satya, truth, asteya, non-stealing, brahmacharya, celibacy, study of the Vedas and allied scriptures, aparigraha, non-hoarding, non-accumulation of superfluous things. We have seen ahimsa as non-violence, implying giving up the sources of non-violence. And we know in Hindi it says krodh, kam, krodh, lobh, moh. These are the sources of violence because kam is when we indulge in only sense gratification. And in sense gratification, it's always we never have enough. So that generates greed. Instead of being rational, we tend to be skewed in greed, on hoarding, on exploitation of people, on mental abuse, on killing for the sake of trade. So these are the sources of ahimsa. And kam, then krodh, anger, lobh, greed, moh, attachment. And be careful, attachment leads to ego, arrogance, obsession. That's why we often hear people when talking in the circle, they say काम क्रोध लोभ मोह पर अपने command रखना. Let's keep the command there. And when we keep the command there, we'll know our limits, like enjoyment, trying to to be happy in life. So we know we should tread on the feet of others. So that's starting point of ahimsa. And let's look at the benefits. Ahimsa leads us to be compassionate towards all living creatures. As we say, the Atmavat Vyavahar. Looking at all living and non-living things with compassion, with the way of looking at them as a friend. And when we look at them with a friend, we'll be always, because towards a friend, we always have the respectful attitude. And when we are respectful towards others, whether it be living or non-living beings, towards living being will bring them peace, hope, enthusiasm. And towards non-living things will be non-polluters, will be also respectful to environment, to our surroundings. Then the next yama is satya, being truthful. The sutra says, Satya pratisthayam kriya phala shravanam. No, shrayatam. Satya pratisthayam kriya phala shrayatvam. To be able to know truth is the ways to know truth. One is observation. जो हम प्रत्यक्ष करते हैं, that which we can see. Truth through observation, and truth is observed through the senses of perception. Taste, smell, sight, hearing, and touch. These are the 5 senses to know truth. But then the other inner, जिसको हम कहते हैं अंदर की जो यंत्र है, the inner engineering is to be done by the mana. And in yoga, mana is interchange also between chit, buddhi. So when we apply our mind, we are focused in whatever we're doing, we'll really be good observers. We can also derive truth from inference. In one way, जिसको हम कहते हैं अनुमान प्रमाण. From inference, from things that happened in the past and gave some results. We know if we do it, we are going to get the same results unless we change the way we do things. Management also says if you keep doing things the same way, we'll always be getting the same results. So that is from management. And if we go on that basis, what we'll say is that truth is through inference. Like when we have clouds, we know it may rain. And if we see flood somewhere, we know it rained probably at the source of the rivers, or somewhere else it rained heavily, and that's the consequence. So that's also inference. So inference can be from past events, past experiences. And the truth is also known through oral authoritative scriptures. Like science gives the interpretation of the laws of nature, the laws of the universe, and this from various experiences, we know this is the truth. And the laws of the universe is authoritative. Like if we throw something up, it will always come down because of gravity. So truth is inference, and inference from includes the authoritative scriptures, Veda, Upanishad, etc. And remember, to be truthful is by way of our thoughts, what we speak, what we write, and our behavior. So it transcends at three levels, as we say, manasa, vacha, karmana, from the mind to the words, and from the words to actions. And yoga that trains us to be silent. And when we are silent, we are able to just give a pause between the thoughts to the words and the words to the physical actions. Then we are careful, we'll be able to be truthful throughout. And there's one principle in life, which is always be ready to accept the truth and shun untruth. Because when we accept the truth and will shun untruth, we'll always be truthful in life. And truth is always to be said in a very courteous manner, not to offend. That Maharishi Dayananda has put it there, Priti Purvak Dharmanusar. Let's not hurt others in telling the truth, because if we hurt others, that will be hinsa, and then we'll fail on the first principle of ahimsa. And truth, we all probably read the story of the boy who cried wolf. He cried wolf first time, people came to help him because the boy was looking after a herd of sheep. Second time he cried wolf, people came to see and they found it was a prank. And third time when the wolf came, really, he cried wolf, nobody came to save his herd. So it says liars are never believed. In other words, that's why we should be truthful. And to be true, first, when we are truthful to ourselves, we keep our level of inner peace. We are level-headed because we can gauge things in a better way. And that builds up inner satisfaction, inner peace, because when we are resort to lies or untruth, we always feel it churning in our heart and in our mind. And it generates uneasiness, unhappiness, and there starts the opposite of yoga. Instead of going towards peace, happiness, we go on the path of pains and sufferings. To be true to oneself, the benefit of it, it nurtures self-assurance. It generates fearlessness, serenity. We are more calm, more confident, at peace with ourselves, more positivity, and will have the attitude of, even if we fail, we know we did our best and we can put a better performance next time. It gives us the, as we say, the rebound. You know, the trampoline, and we come down and we go up. So truth is always like that. Even if we go to the bottom, we'll always find a way to go out of it. Truth counters evil by goodness. Truth is honesty and leads to material and spiritual bliss. Material bliss in terms of we know our earnings are pure and our means to enjoy the earnings also will be pure, so we'll be at peace, harmony with ourselves. And then spiritual bliss, because we'll be always truthful to us. As we say, spirituality is reality of being spiritual in life. So truth is one way to maintain that spiritual reality in life. So if there's any question on that aspect of truth, we can look into it. Otherwise, questions can be sent to Hindu Center of Atlanta at gmail.com. Hindu Center of Atlanta as one word at gmail.com, or on the messenger on Facebook, Hindu Center of Atlanta. Any questions? So let's look into the next yama. It's the third. Asteya. Asteya pratisthayam sarvaratna upasthanam. Asteya means non-stealing. The root word is stay, and in Hindi or Sanskrit, when we add a at the beginning, it turns to be the opposite. Like satya, the contrary, the opposite is asatya. Steya means stealing, and asteya is non-stealing. So stealing is committed by thoughts, by words, and by physical actions. Stealing is taking something without the permission of the owner. And stealing by thoughts is when we are, suppose, like somebody is doing a speech and he takes a few words or one sentence, like we say, verse sentences from somewhere and tells it in the speech and doesn't acknowledge the source, that is stealing. So it starts with the thoughts and then goes into words and then goes into physical deeds. Like downloading a licensed software, a hacked copy of a licensed software, that is also stealing. We should understand the transient form. Like there's a tree across the wall of somebody's yard, and that tree has fruits, beautiful fruits, and enchanting, and we just raise our hands and pluck some fruits there because it's in the yard of somebody and that person has given us the permission to take it, and we just pick it. That is stealing. And even this is physical stealing, but then false pretenses, like somebody is not able to do something, but he pretends and then use those pretenses to cheat somebody, that is also stealing. And this happens mainly in white collar crimes of today, in the financial scams especially. And then stealing leads to a buildup of greed, because when we've taken something the first time, not been caught, then we tend to repeat. And this is how people become professional cheaters, professional robbers. And unfortunately, this is the tendency in, as we say, in financial services with so many scams, Ponzi schemes, and other things. So it's not only the person who go physically to steal, people like entering into the computer of somebody else and stealing his bank data and then delving into the funds there, that is also there. So the greed for getting more and more increases. And we should know stealing is wrong because we are doing harm to others. And doing harm to others, whether it's physical or mental torture, that's hinsa. So we see all these yama and niyama will reinforce hinsa when we comply to them. And stealing generates excessive, one of the reasons sorry for the glitch. And the reverse of that, instead of being lazy, if we put up all our efforts, being reasonable in affection towards anybody, whether it's a close, near and dear one or distant relative or friend, if we resort to moderation and be reasonable, then we'll be compassionate. We'll be compassionate, we'll be exercising more charity. And these builds up virtue and leads us to be intelligent, applying knowledge in day-to-day life. Having much knowledge is as good as the library, and not applying them is like the book. Knowledge is there, but we can't use it. It's like Google, till you don't use it, you don't get the knowledge. The knowledge is there, but it leads us to intelligence, building the practical ways to apply our honesty, to apply purity of mind, body, and spirit in our daily life. And once we accept the omnipresent God, God present everywhere and at all times, we know that we have, as we say, the divine eye watching us. And when we know we have the divine eye watching us, it's as good as the person who is trying to misbehave, but he knows the police is behind him. So likewise, the concept of Ishur God as omnipresent, present within us and all around us, everywhere, at all times, leads us to be humble, to acknowledge that if we can escape the justice of the land, we'll not be able to escape the divine justice. Asteya, it promotes men to treat men as human beings. We are there, will always be level-headed when dealing with others. We'll have that Atmavat Vyavahar, looking at all human beings as such, and we'll know the concept that let's not do what we don't want people to do unto us, because stealing hurts, and when we refrain from that, we'll build up our own honesty, which is the best policy, because we'll avoid the troubles of the law of the land, and will also not engage in negative karma when our karma is positive. So whatever be the negative karma of the past, they are there. And when we are increasing the level of positive karma by ahimsa, keeping non-violence, by satya, being truthful, and by asteya, non-stealing. So as and when that increases the level of positive karma, now it starts building the pressure on the negative karma. So the negative karma is being overridden, and जैसे कहते हैं ना वो दब जाता है. There's the force of the positive karma just pressurizing the negative karma. The negative karma can't manifest itself, and that's where we start on the path of being more positive, of now we'll start enjoying, because since our positive karma is heavier than the negative karma and pressure, causing the negative karma not to show itself, then we'll be living a life with better inner peace, inner tranquility, and will be happy. I'm not saying pleasure, because pleasure, it lasts for a minute or for the time we are indulging in that, but being happy is more long-term, is more sustainable, as we say nowadays. So we know non-stealing, because there's one line to it. There's enough in this world, in this universe, to satisfy the needs of all, but never enough to satisfy the greed of a few. And especially in the economic downturn of today, if we go on the path of yama, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, we'll look at brahmacharya and aparigraha next time. When we go on this path, we'll be more humane, we'll be more compassionate. And when we know this world has enough to satisfy the needs of all, not the greed of a few, we'll engage in that. So the humanity among mankind will outshine whatever be the negativity of the world, and we can fare with more confidence, with more faith in ourselves, in our relatives, in our friends, and in the community at large. So that was on why we should be truthful and why we should keep to honesty, non-stealing in life. Any questions, please?
So if we have more positive karma and then less negative karma, then we can be considered as the positive.
Yeah.
Person. Yeah, because
Yeah.
nobody can be perfect, right? So
Yeah.
somebody might be doing some negative karma and a lot of positive. So always try to be more, doing more and more positive.
There's one concept in yoga which says it gives the different types of karma. It says positive, negative, and then there's mixed. Like somebody is doing agriculture. While doing agriculture, is plowing the land. So other species are being hurt. But that's unavoidable. Like we are walking, we don't know if there are ants or other small insects below our feet. But that is unavoidable. So when we continue building the positive karma, it creates the pressure on the negative karma, and the negative karma will not get the opportunity to manifest itself. And that's why we benefit more by doing more and more positive. Then comes to a point, जैसे कहते हैं ना, बुरे कर्मों को हम दगबीज करेंगे, बुरे संस्कारों को. The negative sanskar from the negative karma, it just gets inactive. Like you have a handful of chana, the ram. If you get it into some humidity and some air, it will germinate. But if you just roast them, they will never germinate. इसको दगबीज कहते हैं. So when we do the same with the negative karma, by increasing our level of positive and positive and positive. So ये बुरे संस्कार जो है ये डग बीज बन जाता है, ये कभी मैनिफेस्ट नहीं होगा. That's why when we grow on that path, it's all positivity and will be, if I'm positive, the world around me starts being positive, and it goes again in the community, in the surroundings, in the city, in the country. So it's bringing more positivity to the world. You're right, perfectly right.
Okay, so keep trying for the good karma, and we will keep moving towards the positive attitude. Thank you, Acharya.
So let's do a short brief with job and be focused. It's time for sleep. So if we're more positive and more focused, we can get some good sleep, and that the practical applications of yoga also, we don't have to churn on the bed. We just go there and sit down and do some introspection. Look at the good things we did during the day, take the resolve that we'll do it better next time. And for all the errors and omissions, we take the resolve that we'll never do it again. We'll be living a life of positivity. And that's yoga in day-to-day life. One deep breath with Om Jap. Thank you. Namaste, everybody. So just remember, you can send your queries on Facebook, Hindu Center of Atlanta, or by mail, Hindu Center of Atlanta at gmail.com. Next Sunday night, for another session on the practical applications of yoga. So have a nice week ahead. Namaste.